Hello guys, and welcome to today's tropical update. It is June 25th, 2020, and we got a lot to go over today. Some of you may have known that earlier today I tried to do a live stream, but it was too laggy, so I kind of just stopped and quit on it. I do not foresee myself doing any more live streams until I get a better PC or laptop that can actually handle that. But anyways, here we are. Here is the tropical Atlantic, and you can see within the next 48 hours we have zero stuff to watch in the area. The next 5 days we have nothing to watch here. But I think this 5-day will probably change, and I will show you guys later here in a few moments that I do believe that something will come off of the east coast here, and we'll probably have a Dolly 2.0 that might be forming here down the line here in the next like 4 to 6 days. So I do believe within maybe the next 1 to 3 days that the NHC might put an area of interest out here. That all just depends really. Maybe 4 at the most. But that is the going-ons with the National Hurricane Center. They have nothing in the Atlantic right now. So now we're going to take a look at the GFS for the Atlantic here, and as you can see, you can see that the area that's blanketed with dust right here is all clear of any convection or rainfall or moisture. Well, I don't know about moisture, which I will show you guys here in a bit. But this Sierran air is really like pushing back the rainfall in the areas along it. But here, as you can see, there are some waves that are trying to form within or around maybe breaks in the Sierran air layer. So here's a wave right here that's hitting the islands. There's another wave, and there's another wave. And there's another wave coming off of Africa right there. But some of these forecasters are monitoring this little area right here that I'm circling with my cursor for tropical development down the line. Maybe in the first couple of days of July, as this moves this way, probably. So, and also we're going to take a look at what might be forming here. So with all of that being said, we're going to go out in time to really see what's going on here. And there's our tropical wave right there that people are monitoring here, and it looks like it's still pretty well intact despite this air in the air layer. This is 18 hours out. And it shows us you gotta keep paying attention to it. I can see what it did there. And bam! Look at that. This is 186 hours out. And there is our system right in there that is gonna probably make its way towards the Gulf of Mexico. So we're gonna go out through time some more here. And well, the GFS kind of wants to weaken it a little bit. And then at 288 we got a little something right here. Now I know going past 246 is the fantasy land, but we're just looking at the keys to the game, so to speak, going forward. So we're gonna keep on going forward until we hit that sweet 384 mark. And as you can see, we're gonna start getting some pretty hefty waves coming off of Africa here. And here's a pretty nifty, pretty high key to the game right here, is this high pressure. it's super strong. It's like it's hardly buckling at all, as you can see. I mean, it's just there. There's like nothing to really, you know, stop this thing from being strong as it is. So that is the what ifs, keys to the game type of thing. Now we're gonna look at the European model and see what they have to say going into the next 144 hours, because this hasn't completely rendered out yet. And the European is picking up on this signal right in here. That's a 1009 millibar tropical low pressure here, and this is feasible because this is only 6 days out. So you can see this high, this strong Bermuda high here, that's really just like taking over here. So any storms that want to come off of Africa, at least during the latter part of June, going into a little bit of July, is going to go right under that ridge and probably do something like this or something like this. So anywhere from the southeast coast of Florida, southwest coast of Florida, and into the Gulf, you are the ones that need to be paying attention to anything that forms down in here, in the near and maybe even the far future too, if this high remains strong the way it is. Alright, that is all for the Atlantic for now. Now we're going to take a look at the Eastern Pacific here, as I didn't load the right page before I started recording. It looks like one of the X's have been taken off, so the chances of development here are getting pretty slim. Here's Tropical Depression 3E, still 35 miles per hour. This has not changed in the last 24 hours. That we have been monitoring and tracking 93E or Tropical Depression 3E. The central pressure is 1,007 millibars. It's located 10.8 north, 136.2 west, and it's moving west at 8 knots and 9 miles an hour. We're gonna go to the 5-day chart here. Yep. This is no longer a thing, so we don't have to worry about this. And the chances of this is going down too. So they keep saying that the conditions are conducive for development of this system, and the tropical depression could form in the next few days. But you know, honestly, I'm not seeing that anymore, because you know they keep on saying that a tropical depression could form within the next few days, a couple of days, for the last like 3 days already. And the chances of going down from 80% to 50%. So I see this not developing into anything, and I probably don't see this developing into anything either. And in all honesty, I don't see 3E forming into tropical storm either. As I said, the last 24 hours, it has remained at a 35 mile per hour tropical depression. And the window of opportunity for this to become a tropical storm is closing quickly, yeah. So I'm thinking none of these 4 systems that were on the board here are going to become tropical storms. That's just my opinion. You know, it's a waiting game with these. If Tropical Depression 3E was to become a tropical storm, it has another 12 to 18 hours to do so, and then it's done. Alright, we're going to take a look at the GFS for the year, for the Eastern Pacific here. And as you can see, we got our systems here. 1,007 millibars, that is, I think, that's our tropical depression right here. This is what was left of 92, is that 90? I forgot what number that was, but that's gone. That's done. That's no longer a concern. this is something right here. I think this is 94E. I could be mistaken on that. So we're gonna go out in time here. Yeah, see? None of these form at all. Like 1003, yeah, that's probably a tropical depression. But I don't think it's going to turn into a tropical storm at this current time. But, you know, in the world of tropics, you know, anything could happen. 1,000 millibars. Okay, that may be a tropical storm. We're going to just have to wait and see. But as I said, I'm predicting that none of these become tropical storms. Which is pretty amazing if that it ends up being true. Because the season in the Pacific started May 15th, right? We're closing in on July, and we've only had one named storm. I don't remember any season that I've only had one named storm in a month and a half. Usually in June we start having these storm trains that come through the Eastern Pacific, and then we get like 3, 4, 5 storms popping up at the same time, tropical storms popping up at the same time in the Eastern Pacific. But yeah, I just don't see that happening this year, because the conditions in the Pacific aren't really that favorable this year compared to other seasons, you know, because of the lack of El Nino here in the 3.4 regions of the Pacific, which are super cold right now. Alright, we're going to take a look at the European and see what they have to say. And there's 3E, what was left of one of those invests here. Invest. So let's go out through time. 1004 millibars, that's pushing it. 1004 millibars could still be a high-end tropical depression. I think it may need to go down another millibar or two for it to become a tropical storm. So again, I don't see that becoming a tropical storm this time. And 1001 millibars for this system right in here, that may be a tropical storm. European is usually really good with the tropical systems. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with this. And here's 120 days, and it looks like 120 days, been 120 hours. You know, that's where the storm is. It's southwest of here. And we're gonna just go to 144 just for the heck of it. 1,000 millibars. Yep, that's a tropical storm. Again, this is 6 days out. I mean, we can't really tell if it's gonna be, you know, anything then. Yeah, there's 168 hours. Alright, I want to switch gears here, and I'm going to talk about some of the other, you know, features of what goes into hurricane season, and like other like environmental conditions that make either put a stamp on the hurricanes or really build the hurricanes up. So first off, we're going to look at wind shear here. And you know, as you can see, the wind shear is actually looking like it's trying to die down a little bit here. We're only seeing blues and yellows here, which is like literally the first 25% to 30% of the meter here. So this is a weak wind shear. It's starting to weaken here, and the thing is, with this wind shear, that's where all this Sierran dust is located. Once we get that dust and this to settle down, that's when the storms are going to start popping up. And I do believe, you know, within the first between the next couple of days, you know, past the weekend, obviously, Once we get to Monday and onward, I do believe that this is going to start dying down, this wind shear, because we do have a Kelvin wave that is coming in, and that really helps to reduce the wind shear in some areas. And yeah, this should die down along with the Sierra and air layer, which we'll talk about that here shortly. We're gonna look at this, and you know, despite the Sierra and air layer, we have some pretty moist air here. It's not in the dry area. It's not in the dry zone. We still got moisture here, despite the Sierra and air layer, which really, you know, which is really concerning if you ask me, because this is the Sierra and air layer of this year is one of the most concentrated amounts of Sierra and air we have had in 50 or 60 years. So, you know, just to see that we still have moisture despite the Sierra and air layer is worrying. And you know, this is where the Sierra and air layer is too, and look at that deep moisture right there. And I mean, it's not like this type of moisture right in here where the blues are, but that's still pretty moist. And that's going to be something to look forward to going forward, to see what happens with this. And we're going to look at some of the other maps here. We're going to take a look at the water temperatures here. And as you can see, we are in the mid upper 80s to even 90s. So these waters are well warm enough to support tropical activity going forward. You know, just think, we're in June still. We're not in the warmest parts of the summer yet. I would not be surprised if we see 90s, a lot of 90s, all across the board here. And that's going to help with the upper ocean heat content as well. You know, I just don't see the rest of this season turning out really good. I don't. And, you know, I'm not here to fearmonger or, you know, give you guys false information. I'm just showing you guys what I see with my very own eyes. And what I see is not a good setup. I just don't see it. But we'll worry about that when the time comes. You know, I'm always going to be here to keep you guys informed. And, you know, I'm never going anywhere. So we're going to move on here. Oh, we already got that up. So we're going to put one of these up and go down here. Tropical Intensity Index. This is what I want to show you guys right here. Because as you guys know, the Sierra and the air layer is where these greens and yellows are. That's obviously where the Sierra and air layer is. But where you see these reds, oranges, that's where it's favorable. And we don't have a Sierra and air layer here where these reds and oranges are. And even right here, where just south of the Sierra and air layer is favorable, very favorable. And also here in the southwest Gulf of Mexico is also very favorable. And as you guys know and seen, we do have a cluster of thunderstorms down here that is just standing here and just rotating in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. Though development might not be possible at this time, it is in favorable conditions. I think if the wind shear dies down, this may have a chance of doing something, but I'm not seeing that. It's probably not going to happen, but you know, you never know. I'll be keeping an eye on everything here, and we do got a lot of highly favorable areas in the Atlantic right now. Alright, let's see if I want to see anything else here on this thing. No. Let's move on. Alright, this is the Sierra and air layer here, and we're just going to let this move forward here. And I gotta refresh. Give me one moment, guys. Decided to freeze up on me. Alright, let's see if it works now. Alright. Just a few moments, guys. We'll let this load up. Yeah, it's not wanting to move anywhere, but you can see the picture here of what's going on. There's our first bloom of Sierra and air layer. There's our second bloom of Sierra and air layer. Once this second layer moves out, I think that's when we're gonna start seeing some really nasty business going on in the Atlantic, because of the Kelvin wave and the MGO are really gonna start favoring this Atlantic pattern going forward. As I said, I'll be keeping you guys on top of that, and later on this evening I'm gonna have an update on Tropical Depression 90S, so that's something to look forward to. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I know this was a lengthy video that I'm normally used to doing, and have a nice day, and I'll catch you guys later.